Like every other country, India too has tackled the pandemic in its own way. As far as the financial system and the banking system is concerned, it has come under acute challenges. With one side, the economy stalling for a longer time. Even when we have opened up the economy, the activities have not picked up to the pre-COVID levels. So as a result, there is a banking system on one side, there is borrower community on the other side, there are stakeholders on the other side. So we have all the three struggling in their own way. Banks were required to provide basic services even during lockdown period, and they have done a yeoman service to the community. The borrowers struggling with lockdown and closing and migrant laborers going away from the factories and workplace had to restart the activities in some way or the other. But Reserve Bank of India has articulated, has put in place such kind of interventions which have made it possible for the banks, borrowers and other stakeholders to get the benefit in starting the activities once again. So coming back to the financial sector, Reserve Bank of India has been intervening from time to time in a measured manner so that necessary support is extended to the banking system to play an active role. In this context, Reserve Bank of India has granted moratorium in the repayment of loans in two spells, 3 months and another 3 months, and the moratorium period has ended on 31st of August 2020. Then Reserve Bank of India quickly set up Kamath Committee to identify the parameters on the basis of which the banks can restructure the loans so that sufficient time can be given to the borrowers to recoup from the financial distress which they have faced, and it has been unprecedented in nature. At the same time, the MSME loans up to rupees 25 crores were also opened up for restructuring. So this facility of restructuring is in progress now, and simultaneously the Government of India has brought out lot of relief measures in the name of stimulus packages, and all the stimulus packages which are Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, that works out to around 15% of GDP when compared to many other countries who have given lesser relief to the society to emerge out of this distress. But India has been proactive in that way, and Government of India has also rolled out emergency credit line through the banking system up to rupees 3 trillion, so that banks can give 20% of the existing loans to the borrowers as a top-up facility, loan facility, to ensure that there are sufficient funds with the borrowers to restart their economic activity which has stopped for a considerable period of time on account of the coronavirus. So moratorium and restructuring facility of MSME accounts and other accounts, non-MSME accounts, large accounts, and also it has given a big push in the form of a reduction of repo rates by 115 basis point. While reducing the interest rate, RBI has been persuading banks to transmit the benefits of lower interest rate to the borrowers. As a consequence, the lending rates have come down, the deposit rates have come down, and the borrowing costs of the corporate sector from the debt market, from the bond market has also come down, and government is able to raise funds from the market at a comparatively lower interest rate. So, a lower interest rate regime has been created by the central bank, and it has infused liquidity in various forms of liquidity windows which we have not seen earlier. The biggest example, TLTRO, that is targeted long term repo operations. TLTRO they have started to provide funds to the NBFC sector, mutual funds and many other sectors which have been wanting funds, but banks were not prepared to take the risk of lending to them. So, funds were made available specific to the sectors so that relief can go to them. So, as a result of all the measures which RBI has taken, borrowers are able to access loans at an affordable cost. Government is able to raise funds, corporate sector is able to raise funds. Because of these multiple efforts of the central bank, economy has started reviving at a pace more than what was expected. One flip side of pushing the liquidity in the system, the liquidity in the system has been pushed up to about 12 trillion, which is about close to say 5 to 6% of the GDP. Even then, the liquidity has eased the market sentiments, has facilitated the revival of the economy. Borrowers could get access to the funds in time. So, all these have accelerated the recovery process. GDP, which has gone down to minus 23.9% in Q1 2021, has improved to minus 7.5% in Q2, and RBI expects that the Q3, which has just ended a few days ago, that is 31st December, that will perhaps come into positive trajectory. And beginning with that, the year may end somewhere around minus 7.5. That is the estimates of the Reserve Bank of India. So, I think by 21-22, during that period, many of the sectors of the economy will reach the pre-COVID levels. But the lag effect of the dip that we have seen, the impact will continue for some time. The point to be highlighted here is the ability of the banks to lend to the sectors which are not eligible under the announced schemes. There could be lot of sectors, lot of borrowers which are not coming within the schemes which have been announced Reserve Bank of India, both for the purpose of restructuring or for availment of fresh loans. I think the banks should take a cue from the government and the RBI, and they should reset their risk appetite so that they are in a better position to appreciate the unprecedented crisis and the difficulties faced by the borrowing community, and they will come to the rescue of such borrowers so that they are also able to mainstream their contribution to the economy. As a result of these factors, it is expected that the growth in 21-22 will be able to compensate some of the losses that we have seen during 2021 due to the pandemic. We are technically in a period of recession, but we have not seen the recession for the first time in India now. This is the 5th episode of recession, but it has been the deepest one because minus 23.9% we haven't seen earlier. The earlier, due to war or due to external factors or due to the monsoon not being good, there were some reasons due to which we had very small episodes of recession. But this recession has been the biggest, what you call the biggest loss to the economy, and it will take quite some time for the economy to reach the pre-COVID levels. So the fresh lending of the banks have to be activated at a pace that we have not seen in the recent past. The 5.7% loan growth does not speak well about the risk appetite of the banks, particularly when liquidity is abundantly available to the banks, interest rates are low, reverse repo rates of course has been brought down by 155 basis point. So that brings down the reverse repo to 3.35% and repo rate to 4%. So now I think the RBI is re-looking at the liquidity that is now in the system. That overhang of liquidity will have an impact on the inflation, and as a result of which I think now RBI will plan out for phasing out from the quantitative easing that it has undertaken as an emergency measure. At this point of time, what is more important for the banking system is to downplay the impact of asset quality on the fresh lending, so that fresh lending is not affected, simultaneous efforts are made to recover loans from the delinquent borrowers. So unless all the stakeholders combine together, perhaps we will not be able to resurrect the economy at a pace that is required at this point of time. Thank you very much.